Everything changes in the ton, when love, secrets, and old faces begin to return. And Season 4 of Bridgerton may bring back one of the most beloved siblings at the exact moment another stands at the edge of his greatest heartbreak. Season 3 closed the door on one love story and quietly opened another. While Colin and Penelope enjoyed their long-awaited moment in the spotlight, the rest of the Bridgerton family was left standing at a crossroads. Every sibling had some part of their life shift, but the one who changed the most was Benedict. He walked away from the season with a heart that looked calm on the outside, but unsettled beneath the surface. His search for identity, for a place where he truly fits, grew louder than ever. We watched him drift between art, romance, and adventure, and yet none of it held him for long. There was always a sense that something or someone was still missing at the same time. Daphne's absence created a quiet space in the family. Her presence was often felt in passing comments or subtle reminders, but she was never physically there to guide, tease, or comfort her siblings. The show made sure the audience remembered her, which usually means one thing: her story is not finished. Her influence still shapes the Bridgertons, especially the younger ones who once leaned on her for advice, even though she was not on screen. The moments that hinted at her were strong enough to make fans wonder why the show kept her name alive so purposefully. Anthony and Kate stepped into a new phase of their married life, calmer and more grounded than before. Their story felt complete, but not closed. They are now the emotional foundation of the family. And Season 3 positioned them as steady hands who may guide the others through new storms. Eloise faced her own turning point. Torn between the world she thought she wanted and the world she now realizes she may need. Her sudden desire for distance and change felt like the beginning of a journey that will unfold far beyond London's glittering ballrooms. Francesca's story took a different direction, one that feels soft but heavy with future importance. The introduction of a new love interest reshaped her path in a way that promises a slow, quiet burn, a contrast to the dramatic romances her siblings often face. Watching her step into her own identity showed how many Bridgerton stories are still waiting to bloom. But behind all of this, the most important emotional thread was Benedict's growing struggle. Season 3 showed him tasting freedom but not finding peace. He is a man standing between who he is expected to be and who he wants to become. And this is why Season 4 feels ready to be his moment. Every detail from his emotional distance to his longing glances at possibilities he cannot fully reach built the foundation for a major shift. The season felt like the final stretch before his life transforms. All these storylines, quiet, loud, romantic, uncertain, merged into a soft cliffhanger. The Bridgertons ended Season 3 both happy and unsettled. Bonds were tested, futures were teased, and new beginnings were quietly waiting, just out of sight. The audience was left with the sense that something big is coming, something that will shake the ton and pull long-missing characters back into the light. Benedict Bridgerton stands at the heart of the next chapter, and everything about his journey so far points toward a season built around him. For years, he has existed in the show as the dreamer, the observer, the quiet artist who watches the world with wonder but never fully belongs to it. Season 3 pushed him closer to self-discovery, yet by the end, it was clear he still felt incomplete. That quiet ache inside him, the longing for something real, something lasting, now feels like the spark that will ignite Season 4. Benedict has always been the sibling who carries two versions of himself. One is the gentleman shaped by society's rules, the perfect son, the supportive brother, the respectful figure the ton expects. The other is the passionate artist who craves freedom, color, danger, and truth. These two sides have never lived in harmony, and Season 3 did not try to hide this conflict. Every flirtation, every artistic escape, every attempt to reinvent himself only left him more confused. His heart was open, but his purpose was not clear. That is why Season 4 feels ready to give him the one thing he has never fully had. A love story that tests both sides of him. Whether the show follows the book route with Sophie Beckett or creates a new character entirely, Benedict's romance cannot be simple. His heart needs a story that challenges him, shakes him, and forces him to choose who he truly wants to be. A Cinderella-style romance with a mysterious woman could mirror his dreams and fantasies, while an unexpected connection with someone who challenges his beliefs could ground him in reality. Either direction pushes him toward growth. What makes Benedict different from his brothers and sisters is that he does not chase love. He stumbles into it, and when he does, it is usually messy, overwhelming, and impossible to ignore. Fans saw glimpses of this in Season 3 when he tried to explore relationships without committing to anything. He acted like a man who was searching for himself through others, hoping love might reveal something he could not see on his own. Instead, It only left him with more questions. Now season 4 can turn those questions into answers. His story is poised to explore the deeper parts of his identity, his fear of expectations, his desire for artistic freedom, and the secret hope that someone will accept him fully, even the parts he hides. His love story could be the key that brings all of these pieces together. A partner who understands his creativity yet challenges his uncertainty could be the push he needs to finally step into his true self. And perhaps the most powerful part of Benedict's journey is that he is not looking for a fairy tale romance. He is looking for honesty, for connection, for someone who sees him without the glow of his family name or the shadow of society's rules. This makes his upcoming romance feel more emotional than flashy, more intimate than dramatic. It has the potential to be the most heartfelt Bridgerton story yet. As the Ton prepares for new scandals, new secrets, and new names entering their world, Benedict's story will rise quietly at first. But like all great transformations, it will grow until it becomes the emotional center of the season. He is no longer just the charming second son. He is the soul of the family, waiting to be understood. Season 4 may finally give him the chance to step out of the background and into the love story he was always meant to live. The possibility of Daphne Bridgerton stepping back into the story feels like the missing piece the show has been saving for the perfect moment. Her absence in season 3 was quiet, but it wasn't empty. The writers left tiny clues, soft reminders, subtle mentions, and emotional shadows that suggested her return was never an if, but a when. And season 4, with Benedict standing on the edge of a life-changing love story, feels like the season that finally calls her home. Daphne has always held a unique place in the Bridgerton world. She was the first to carry the weight of society, the first to navigate love's sharp edges, and the first to prove that a Bridgerton heart can survive anything. Her journey taught the family how love can transform a person, but it also showed how hard that transformation can be. That experience gives her a voice no other sibling has. It makes her return not just a fun surprise, but a meaningful moment that could shape every storyline unfolding around her. When the family broke into smaller paths in season 3, Loa stepping away, Francesca drifting toward her quiet destiny, Benedict caught between purpose and passion, there was a noticeable gap in their emotional foundation. Daphne is the sibling who used to bridge those gaps. She understands Anthony's protective instincts. She knows how to read Benedict's silent feelings. She admires Eloise's independence. And she loves each of her brothers in her own steady way. Her return would not simply be nostalgic. It would bring back the balance the family quietly lost. One of the most powerful possibilities in season 4 is Daphne guiding Benedict through his emotional confusion. She knows what it feels like to stand between duty and desire, especially when society's eyes follow every step. She understands the pressure of expectations, and she also knows the relief of breaking free from them. Her connection with Benedict has always been soft and sincere, built on mutual respect and a shared desire to understand their place in the world. Bringing them together again could create some of the most heartfelt moments of the season. But Daphne's return could also spark new dynamics within the Ton. Her presence carries a level of influence, both socially and emotionally. She has friends, alliances, and connections that could shift the power within London's most privileged circles. If she becomes involved in Benedict's romantic journey, perhaps encouraging him to pursue a love that seems out of reach or pushing him to confront his fears, or actions could trigger ripples that touch every corner of the story. At the same time, Daphne's relationship with her siblings has naturally evolved during her absence. Reuniting with Eloise could bring emotional depth, especially after Eloise's decision to seek her own space and identity. Daphne might become the comfort Eloise didn't realize she needed. She could also help Francesca navigate the early stages of a complex love story, offering wisdom without interfering. And her connection with Anthony and Kate could reinforce the stability the family will need as new challenges rise in the Ton. Her return is not just about family, though it is about timing, and season 4's timing could not be more perfect. The Ton is shifting. Love stories are becoming more complicated. Secrets are beginning to unravel, and Benedict is about to walk into a romance that could redefine him. Daphne's presence in this moment could become the emotional anchor that steadies the entire season. Whether she returns briefly or becomes deeply involved, her presence will feel like a turning point, a reminder of how far the Bridgertons have come, and how far they still have to go. And as the family prepares for a new season filled with uncertainty, having Daphne back in the family's circle could be the spark that brings them closer than they've been in years. The Ton never stays quiet for long. Even when every ballroom looks polished, every smile seems gentle, and every whisper sounds harmless, something dangerous always waits beneath the surface. Season 4 feels like the moment when all those hidden tensions finally rise into a new wave of scandal. One that could shake London in ways the families of the Ton are not ready for. Because when one love story begins, another rivalry is born, and when one secret fades, another takes its place. And this time, the trouble may not come from a familiar enemy, but from a new force, stepping boldly into the spotlight. The reveal of Lady Whistledown's true identity in Season 3 changed the balance of power more than anyone expected. Penelope's exposure didn't end the gossip, it changed the nature of it. People no longer fear a faceless writer, they fear a woman they once underestimated. This shift alone can bring a new tension into the Ton, because the rules have changed. Penelope is no longer writing in the shadows. Every word she prints now has a face behind it, a marriage behind it, a reputation behind it. That means every mistake she makes will cut deeper, and every story she publishes will create more waves. But Penelope isn't the only source of danger. When the Ton senses a shift in power, new players always emerge. Season 4 may open the door to a family bold enough to challenge the Brit. Perhaps a wealthy, ambitious newcomer arrives with their own secrets, their own agenda, and their own desire to rise in society. Someone who sees the changing tone of the Ton as an opportunity to climb using charm, manipulation, or something far more subtle. A rival family with enough elegance to blend in and enough cunning to stand out could become the antagonist Season 4 needs. They might target Benedict's growing influence, Daphne's return, or Penelope's unstable position, creating conflicts that ripple across every storyline, and within the Bridgerton household itself. Small secrets can grow into larger issues. Eloise, still searching for her place in the world, may become vulnerable to the wrong people. Her desire for independence could lead her toward alliances that threaten her family's peace. Francesca, with her gentle but complicated romantic future, might attract attention she doesn't want. Even Kate and Anthony, though strong together, could face new pressures from the expectations placed on their expanding household. Every family member stands on the edge of a personal shift, and any one of those shifts could ignite a scandal that spreads across the Ton. The most unpredictable element, however, might be Benedict's love story. If he falls for someone the Ton does not approve of, someone beneath him in status, someone mysterious, someone with a hidden past, it could become the talk of every drawing room in London. His romance might create a conflict that tests the Bridgerton name itself, because while the family has survived scandals before, they have never had to protect Benedict in this way. His heart has always been his own quiet space, but Season 4 may force it into the spotlight, where every whisper can feel like a weapon. And then there is Daphne. Her return alone could start a storm of speculation. Why has she come back now? What does it mean for her marriage? What role will she play in the shifting alliances of the Ton? Even the smallest move she makes could inspire rumors, especially from those who remember her power from Season 1. Her presence carries weight, and that weight could draw attention in ways she does not expect. The Ton loves a comeback almost as much as it loves a fall from grace. All these elements, Penelope's new challenges, a rising rival family, the vulnerabilities within the Bridgerton, and Benedict's unpredictable romantic future create a season ready to burst with tension. The Ton will not simply gossip this time. It will react, judge, and divide. Every ballroom will feel like a battlefield. Every smile will hide a motive, and every dance will carry a secret. Season 4's scandals won't just entertain, they will expose the truth about loyalty, ambition, and the fragile balance of power that holds the Ton together. There is something powerful about a reunion that has been quietly building in the background. Something the audience can feel long before it happens. The return of Daphne and the rise of Benedict create a natural path toward a deeply emotional sibling reunion, one that many fans have been waiting for without even realizing how important it could be. Luke Thompson and Phoebe de Nevers sharing the screen again would not simply be a nostalgic moment, it would be a turning point for Season 4. Their characters carry a quiet, emotional history that has never been fully explored, and this could be the season that finally brings that bond into the light. Daphne and Benedict are more alike than the Ton has ever noticed. They both carry a softness beneath their strength, a desire for understanding beneath their charm, and a struggle to define who they are beyond the expectations placed upon them. But they have never faced these challenges together. Daphne found her place first, stepping into her role as a duchess and discovering love through pain, patience, and change. Benedict, meanwhile, has been drifting between dreams and responsibilities, never landing long enough to feel grounded. Their reunion could be the moment these two parallel journeys finally intersect. Imagine Daphne returning and sensing immediately that Benedict is standing at a fragile point in his life. She has always had a calming influence, a voice capable of cutting through noise with gentle truth. She understands the weight of a world that demands perfection and the loneliness that comes from trying to meet every expectation. When she looks at Benedict, she may see a reflection of the emotions she once hid behind elegant smiles and polite nods. That recognition alone sets the stage for some of the most intimate sibling conversations the show has ever offered. Their reunion also promises a new level of emotional depth for the whole Bridgerton family. Daphne's presence naturally shifts the energy in the household. She brings wisdom to Anthony, comfort to Eloise, warmth to the younger siblings, and balance to the family's interactions. But with Benedict, her return feels like something even deeper, a soft reminder that he is not alone in his confusion. For Benedict, who often carries his struggles with a quiet grace, opening up to a sibling like Daphne could become a defining moment in his journey toward understanding who he truly wants to be. The chemistry between Luke Thompson and Phoebe Dynevor adds another layer of richness. Their acting styles complement each other, his reflective calm matching her emotional clarity. When their characters share a scene, even a small one, the air shifts. They communicate through expressions, pauses, and unspoken thoughts that feel real and heartfelt. Bringing them together after seasons apart could create powerful scenes that anchor the entire narrative of season 4. But their reunion is not only emotional, it's strategic. Daphne returning at a time when the ton is unstable adds a new layer of influence to the Bridgerton name. She is respected, admired, and still remembered for the way she once commanded attention without ever needing to speak loudly. If a scandal threatens the family, if Benedict's romance sparks controversy, or if a new rival attempts to undermine their standing, Daphne's involvement could quietly shift the balance. She understands how society works from the inside, and she knows how to move through it with elegance and power at the same time. Her presence gives Benedict the courage he may not know he needs. Daphne has faced judgment, heartbreak, fear, and uncertainty and survived all of it. Seeing her thrive could push Benedict to take emotional risks he has always avoided. Her belief in him, spoken gently or shown in a single supportive gesture, might become the anchor he relies on when his world begins to change. In a season built on transformation, their relationship could become the emotional heart of the story. Whether they share long conversations, silent moments, or scenes filled with tension and warmth, Benedict and Daphne's reunion will hold weight. It will remind viewers of where the story began and why the Bridgerton family remains its strongest core. Their bond, once quiet and unexplored, could become one of the most meaningful threads woven into the season. And as love stories rise and fall, as scandals unfold, and as the ton shifts into chaos, one thing will stand firm: the power of a family reunion that was long overdue.